Everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been 1 week since my show, and so I'm really excited to do this video and do just kind of a follow-up of this week. And I'm gonna do a Q&A. I pulled Instagram about all the questions that you want to know about competing, and I've got some really great ones that I've never addressed before, so I'm really excited to do this video. First, I just want to say thank you for all of the amazing support from last weekend. I love competing and I love sharing it with you guys, and so I'm really grateful that you guys love it too. So I just want to say thank you for all the comments on the previous video. You guys are just really awesome. So last time I competed, I did a follow-up video about what not to do after a show. So I took tons of notes, and I wanted to, for this last show that I did, implement the changes that I wanted to make. So I'm really happy to report that my intuition and the changes that I did worked really well. And so the very first thing was I had told myself to not slam water. When you go into a show, you do taper water down, and so you do go into the show a bit dehydrated, and your instincts after a show is to just like drink all of the water. And I told myself, you are just like you tapered your water down, you're gonna taper your water back up, because the biggest thing that happened last time was that when I was just like drinking all the water, my body was like a sponge, and my weight spiked probably 10 pounds of just like holding on to all of this water. And I just didn't want to do that this time. And so I tapered my water back up over the last week, and I have felt so good. Like that inflammation, all the things that I battled with last time, totally gone. So that was the first thing that I was like really amped about. The next thing was I decided to deload this week. So last show, after I was done, I just was like, oh my gosh, like we gotta get after this. And so I hit the gym really hard, like 2 days after my show. My immune system tanked, and then I got really sick. So if you haven't watched that video, definitely go watch that, because I talk about my experience with like how sick I got, everything like that. And so my biggest goal was to avoid doing any of that. And so what I decided to do was just rest this week. My cardio was walking Apollo. I did very light workouts. I think I worked out maybe twice this week. Just moving, a lot of stretching, but nothing like, let's push like heavy weight. Even though I wanted to once I like got warmed up and working out, but I was just like, no, take it easy. And so I did that, and I have felt amazing. So I'm really excited. And since it's been 1 week since the show, it is time for me to, taper back in my workouts. And so today will be my first day back into the main gym that I go to. So I'm really excited to, get back into it. I gave my body plenty of time to rest, and I'm feeling really good now. So the other thing that I did this time that I wasn't planning on doing, but I felt really important to share, especially with other fellow competitors. After you compete and you see your body like at its peak, and you're just like, oh, I look so amazing, it's really hard psychologically post-show to see your body become softer, and you don't have like that hard dialed look as much as you did like when you were at the show. And so this last week, I did not assess my body at all. I wore sweats, I wore big t-shirts. I didn't want to have like this anxiety or like overthink like the things that I was eating throughout the week, because I wanted to like undo my progress. It's just a psychological thing that a lot of competitors go through. And so this week I decided to do that. And I, didn't emotionally eat because of seeing like my body not look as peaked as it was. And because I wasn't emotional eating, I was eating more intuitively, still hitting protein, decent amount of carbs. I loosely tracked macros, but I wasn't hyper focused on making sure everything was on point. I did more of an intuitive way, and it was really good. I did not have any binge episodes. I did nothing like that. And so that worked really well for me to really just take this week to relax, try not to think about like what my body looks like and just listen to it, because when you go into a show, you put a lot of work on it and you have to let it rest. So that is, you know, the update of, you know, how I'm feeling, how this week went. So I'm really happy, and now it is time to go into my off season. I'm going to talk about what's next for me. But yeah, so that's that. So let's go ahead and dive into this Q&A. All right, I have the questions on my phone and I'm just gonna post the question right here. I got some really great ones. Some of them are gonna be like rapid fire, and so it's gonna be good. The first one was, did you get sick this time from eating after your competition like last time? And the answer is no. And a big reason why was because I decided to, even after the show, avoid foods that cause my Hashimoto's to flare up. And so I didn't do any gluten. I kept it, you know, fairly low sugar. I didn't do like dairy or anything like that. Last time I had gotten into like some pints of Ben and Jerry's, and I wasn't as careful with gluten. And so this time I really made sure that any of the foods that I was like, ooh, I want to eat this, were not going to cause me to have like down days after. And so yeah, I did really good with that. And so I'm really happy with that. And I am taking notes for every show, so I can replicate the things that worked really well and not do the things that didn't. So that was a great question. Oh, so this one kind of goes along with it. How was post-show? Would you adjust anything for next time? Honestly, no. Like, I was really happy with, you know, how this week has gone. Oh, one thing I did want to say was that last time I wanted to try doing something different before getting on stage. And so I chose, instead of doing like Pop-Tarts and almond butter, that type of stuff, I decided to just do raisins, and I loved it. Like, it was really good for me. And I think sometimes it's also a psychological thing where you're just like about ready to walk on stage and you just ate a bunch of Pop-Tarts. Like, for me, it doesn't help with my confidence. And so doing the raisins, I felt really awesome. So I'm definitely going to be keeping that in mind for future shows, and maybe something for you to try if you compete as well. So I obviously listen to your coach, but I really liked doing that. So this is a good one, and one I've never talked about was, do you control salt? Is there a formula to calculate the amount of salt? So I personally don't control salt. I make sure to salt my food. Salt is important. And we do taper salt like the day before, where I don't do anything with sodium. But no, I always salt food. Salt is something that I do not cut ever. Like, it's really important that you do get sodium in your diet. So I wouldn't overthink that. I just make sure that you salt your food regularly, and yeah, unless you have some sort of medical reason why you shouldn't be ingesting a certain amount of salt, then I wouldn't overthink it. So what is the hardest part about getting ready for stage, and how do you move past it? I think that the hardest part is, especially right at the end, like the last couple weeks, where you are tired, your calories are low. For me, creates a form of body dysmorphia where I really don't feel like I'm gonna be ready. And so it's all a matter of just continuing to trust the process, trust your coach, show up, do your very best. And that's all you can do. You can only control what you can control, and that is just doing the work. And so yeah, I would say that that is the hardest part, is just trusting that when it comes to getting to the stage, like, you're gonna be ready. So I would say that is the hardest part for me. Can you do a competition on a vegan diet? Yeah, I think so. I have never done that, but I'm sure you would have to make sure to hire a coach that has experience with, you know, getting competitors to stage on a vegan diet. The other question that kind of goes along with this is, the food for competing pretty much keto? If not, can you compete doing keto? No, it is not a keto diet, because you definitely keep carbs in. Carbs are incredibly important. I have never heard of anybody doing keto going into a show, but I'm sure there are some people that do it. I personally do not recommend keto even for like a daily diet. So you would have to find a coach who has successful experience helping people get to stage that do keto, but no, definitely keep carbs in throughout the entire process. Okay, this one is also really good. What are your biggest insecurities and how do you overcome them? You know, I loved that question so much because that is why I got into coaching and why I have all the fitness programs that I have available. Because when I was feeling really, really insecure about my body specifically, I turned to fitness, and I thought it was just like so awesome because you can literally work every single day to improve on yourself. So your insecurities are no longer there, and you can just like be filled with so much confidence. And so, you know, for example, I was really insecure about my midsection, and so I worked on my abs, and I'm not insecure about it anymore. And that's why I created my program, Abs Accelerator. It's literally why I've created every single one of my programs, because I worked on the things that I wanted to improve on, and I created programs for it. And so other women, you know, can work on their confidence too. And I just wanted to say that I'm running a month-long Black Friday sale. So you can go to kristie-barker.com and it will link you to all the deals that I have going on right now. Lifetime access to all my programs, so you can save now, start later, or, you know, save now and get started right away. So if you are wanting to work on yourself, I would love to be your guide and be your coach. So that's what's going on with that. The best project you can ever work on is yourself, starting from the inside out. And so if you are, you know, struggling with insecurities and you want to be more confident, you got to work on yourself. You know, that's, you know, a huge part of it. I journal almost daily. I'm always doing like self-reflection because I want to live my best life and I want to help others live their best life. So what I do is just, you know, all about sharing the things that have worked really well for me and all of my clients. And yeah, so that, you know, that's such a great question, but I can genuinely say that I do not live with insecurities anymore because I know that it's a process, and, you know, I work on myself daily. So that's my answer for that. This is a good one. Does having hair covering your back definition affect your score? So in the category of bikini, you are not judged on your back. And so that is why we keep our hair back. Because you're not being judged on it. You are being judged on the symmetry of your shoulders, your glutes. But yeah, you're not being scored on your back. There are some categories like figure, physique, where you are scored on your back, so you'll see them like pull their hair to the side. But for bikini, you'll see us throw our hair back. So loved that question. This was the one about the blue suits. You can do any color that you want on stage. I just happen to do blue because it's very complimentary, like with my skin and everything like that. I don't know what I will do next, but yeah, I've always really favored blue, like blues and greens, like dark greens. Why is your boyfriend so handsome? This is such a great question, Eric, who is also my boyfriend, who posted that. Eric, you're adorable. I just love you. He's the best pageant dad. He is so supportive. I literally have had the best past 2 show experiences of all time because of him. He's so amazing. Love you, babe. This is a great one. Can you compete if you have scars and stretch marks all over your body? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There are a lot of competitors who have either had like extreme weight loss, or there's female competitors who have had babies where they do have stretch marks, loose skin. And yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely don't let that hold you back from pursuing competing if that is your goal. Why do you compete? You know, my goals for it have changed over the years. It has always been like with the overarching goal of like winning a pro card, competing as a pro. But what I have learned these past 9 months with, you know, getting ready for the stage, again, is that I absolutely love what it brings to me throughout the work and the process, where it's like learning so much about myself, and it gives me a lot of confidence when I have discipline. So I absolutely I just love the sport. I think it's just so much fun, you know, and this is something that I wanted to say because a lot of people don't understand them. They're like, why can't you just like work out to be healthy and to feel good? And the thing is that I think about it this way. I love using analogies, so I'm just gonna use like a quick analogy. if you have two people that are artists that absolutely love art, like they're super passionate about it, you may have an artist who works on painting every single day, but they only display it in their home. They only do it for their family and friends to see, or they just do it for themselves because it brings them a lot of fulfillment. And there are other artists who have the exact same passion, but they like to submit their art into art galleries or art contests, because that is what gives them, you know, fulfillment and drive. They like to share their art and, you know, get feedback and that type of stuff. So that's kind of how I look at it with like fitness, is that some people love to work out just for themselves, and it makes them feel really good. And then there's some people who love to do it for that too, but they also like to have that goal and that drive to compete. So that's kind of how I look at it. What is next for you? So this is really awesome, because it is not what I was expecting to be next for me. You know, I missed my qualification again to go to national, which is okay, because I personally feel like everything happens for a reason. And basically my placing told me that I've got, you know, a lot of improvements to make, but the biggest thing that I need to do now is step back and rest and reverse diet and get, you know, work on, you know, internal things like my hormones, get a little bit more of a handle on my Hashimoto's, which I feel like was really affecting me going into this show. The more I was pushing, the more pushback I felt like was happening. And so that just tells me that, you know, I took these last 9 months to, you know, get back in shape, get the conditioning, get a couple shows under my belt. And so now I'm probably going to take the next 5 to 6 months into an off season, and I am of course going to be taking you guys along on that journey, but my goal is to hopefully get back on stage early next fall. So yeah, I'm going to be taking the next, you know, next while off to make improvements, rest, and obviously still be working really hard, but the focus is just going to shift. The end goal is still competing, but yeah, so that is what's next for me, and I'm really excited to take you guys along on that journey. So what would you guys like to see as I enter into this next season, like into this next off season, this working off season? Please let me know in the comments down below. So my goal for this channel moving forward is to, you know, share with you guys my training, give you guys updates, but also I plan to vlog a lot more of my life. My birthday is coming up in the next couple weeks, and we're gonna be going to Disney, so I'm gonna be vlogging that. And you know, Thanksgiving is coming, so I'll definitely be taking you guys on our food venture for that as well. We have a lot of fun trips coming up, and so I just want to take you guys along and just show you how I balance life and fun and, you know, all that good stuff. I just want to say thank you guys again so much for all the support here. I literally have never felt so fulfilled with sharing this part of my journey. I absolutely love YouTube and this platform, so I can share these things with you guys. I always say thank you for letting me be a part of your journey, so I want to say thank you for being a part of my journey in all of the support. You guys are just absolutely amazing. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.